This is Joe Coleman, the new television champion, the super soldier, the genetic jackpot, the Jack Knight, the Tan Lantern, and the master of the universe.
This is the beast of nature, the freak, Rob Terry.
Hi, I'm OVW official Josh Ashcraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Triple Threat Talk. I'm Dean Hill.
This is Ricky Chevy, and I'm the blue-collar millionaire.
I'm Mr. Peck. God, that's great every time. Spectacular.
We're the Broner Brothers.
I am the One Girl Revolution, Taylor Hendricks.
This is Brandon Espinoza.
I'm the Assassin.
I'm Bruno Raul Limata.
I'm James Moose Thomas.
I'm Shiloh Jones.
My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW.
I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Rand Perez. My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling, referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason West.
And you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
To episode 79 of Triple Threat Talk, internet web sensation.
79.
I am.
We're breaking 80. Next week is 80, and before you know it, we'll be at 100.
Oh,
21 episodes away from 100.
100 episodes with you two.
Jeez, that's a lot of time.
I'm glad to see, by the way, that we got rid of Matt, the nurse practitioner, and we sort of got
this is gone. I just haven't had. I've been so busy this week. This is gone as soon as tomorrow happens.
Well, see, it's still technically sort of, so it's half-half. So it's more like Mary, the nurse practitioner.
So
Mary.
Matt, the nurse practitioner, will be back soon enough. I am Gary, the Dr. Lockard, with my esteemed co-hosts, Big B, Brandon DeMuro, and Jimmy Biggers, the Postmaster Jones. Yeah. Oh, you like that?
No.
We kind of slowed it down a little bit.
Anyway.
Sounds kind of kinky, but okay, we'll go with it. So, first off, before we get into user questions, I would just like to address something. We would like to address Buckin5. He made a Wikipedia page for us. That was very awesome. We want to thank you for that. I was able to check it out. Very cool that he gave a very good synopsis of the show and gave our names, talked about what we talk about on a weekly basis, and it's good stuff. And we really appreciate you putting our name out there.
Are you going to be able to link it to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a correction. You're absolutely right. It is a Wikia page, though. There's a difference. There is a difference. Yes.
Anyway.
So, to kick off questions from the Big Corn 16. You guys think that the Shield is in some way this generation's NWO?
I sure hope not, because with NWO they had like half the roster at one point.
That's what made it fun, though.
It was easier to say who wasn't NWO than who was.
True.
I don't think so. I think the Shields have a different message than the NWO. I think the Shield stands for something a little bit more different. It seems like they're trying to right the injustice, the wrongs of the WWE at this point. NWO was something more different. They were kind of just in there for power and against the establishment. I don't think the Shield's really for that.
So they're trying to right the wrongs. So they're going to fire all the creative talent.
But like I said, the Shield thing is exciting because it's three guys that you don't really know a lot about. The NWO knew who those people were. You knew Hogan, you knew Nash, you knew Scott Hall. The Shield is a little bit different because there's three guys you're not really too familiar with. They're kind of trying to get their name out there by doing this. So.
And there could be a fourth.
Could be.
I agree. I think it was. Here's the thing. With the NWO, everybody liked it. It was awesome. You had a lot of people in it. I don't think the Shield is this generation's NWO because even to rival just to begin to rival the NWO, you have to have more than 3 or 4 members. You have to have at least 7 or 8, kind of like the Nexus. If you ask this question about the Nexus, absolutely. I think that the original Nexus, when they had like all 58 members or whatever, I think that, yes, for sure, the Nexus could have been, for a while, at least considered part of this generation's NWO, but I don't see the Shield in that regard.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't think 3 guys can compare to the NWO. Maybe the Wolfpack, the original, but that would probably be it. I don't think NWO is a good comparison for sure. From the Buck N5, what are some of the best Christmas presents you have received?
Hopefully one of them is this year, a Russell Wilson jersey. But the one I can think of in most recent memory was this Christmas that I got a Nintendo GameCube. I really wanted it, and I didn't think I was going to get it. And it was because usually nowadays, at this age, when you get a present, you're not shocked about it. You're just like, oh, that's nice, that's nice. You're not really, blown away about a gift. But this one, I didn't think I was expecting to get it, and it was a big, nice surprise. So.
I went downstairs one year, and Santa had brought me a PlayStation, an original PlayStation. That was pretty cool. So
it's so far too video game related.
Yeah. I mean, it's always pretty fun when you do that. And then one year I came downstairs and Santa, just to go away from video games for a second, Santa had brought me a fully put together G.I. Joe General. That thing was huge, man. I still have it actually. It was awesome.
Good stuff. Probably mine would have to be. I was probably about 10 or 11, and I remember Santa Claus brought me a TV and a Sega Genesis. So that was a pretty awesome.
Game related.
All came together at one time. I was like, yeah, you got your TV, you got your Sega Genesis.
See what video games do brings happiness.
So for the first time ever, I had my own TV in my room. So
and that's another thing. Last year I got my 42-inch 1080p TV for Christmas. That was awesome.
And there's a lot of things I could go. We all could go on. I mean, I got a guitar for Christmas.
Guitar Hero.
Some nice jackets and different collectible items, stuff like that. So, also from the Buck and 5, what sports star do you think had the biggest fall from grace?
Are we talking like now or ever?
I guess ever. I mean, never getting back together.
Really? It's a good song, by the way. I can pick a name of people. I can, of course, probably gonna all have different answers. I would think. People I can think of are Jamarcus Russell, because he was #1 pick in the draft and he didn't work out at all. I mean, he was, we played LSU and he was really highly scouted and was a good quarterback because the way he did in college, and he just came in the NFL and he stunk it up.
I think what he's talking about here, just so maybe you can clarify your answer, is. I think what he's talking about is who hit the peak and then fell.
Right.
Like who is? I wouldn't say Jamarcus Russell because
he was never up there.
He was never up there.
So he was on college.
For example, I think he's talking someone like Michael Vick or Bobby Petrino, both recently. But let's face it, in this day and age, our society is changing. For maybe the worse more so than the better, as we've seen recently. But I think Michael Vick and Bobby Petrino, I would probably put them side by side because they both hit the peak of what they do and then fell, and Michael Vick just has not been the same. He had like a half of a good season, and that was it.
Yeah. I guess my answer then, if it's gonna go that way, I'd probably pick Barry Bonds. He had one of, if not the greatest career in all baseball, broke the home run record, did all these great things, and then it comes out that he, took steroids knowingly or not. And now his career is into question because he's sitting in purgatory in Cooper and trying to get the Hall of Fame. He's not going to get in. These people aren't going to vote him in. That's what you need to get. You need to get the votes, and he's not going to get the votes. So his career means absolutely nothing. Now, he put up good numbers. There's no denying that. But he's not going to get enshrined in the Hall of Fame because of what he did, knowingly or not.
True. So I guess maybe Owen Hart would be a good fit for this category.
Really? That was a terrible answer.
I know, wasn't it?
That was a terrible joke.
I'll go with Lance Armstrong.
Well,
definitely.
Again,
it's your opinion.
That is not his fault, but
that's fine.
I'll go with Lance Armstrong.
Controversial over there.
Definitely a little bit, but I think Lance Armstrong, you're not going to sit there and tell me he didn't take steroids. I think that's a total lie.
So are you the Skip Bayless of this show?
But everybody inside, you can't just...
That might be the case, but he was the one that won, so therefore he gets his title stripped away. He loses all the glory, and for 6 years, 7 years, or whatever it was, there was no Tour de France because... you're right. Everybody was doping. Mm-hmm. The guy that won was doping, so he lost the title. That's how he got all his endorsements. That's how he made his money. So therefore, that's why.
But I would, like I said, it's your opinion. Mm-hmm. But every now and then an opinion does spark a debate here. I would argue that the good that Lance Armstrong has done in this world far exceeds maybe doping, maybe. And the reason I say maybe is because. It never was proven. Like I said, this cycling organization...
He just gave up.
Yeah, this cycling organization is judge, jury, and execution. That's not right. And that's what our tax dollars pay for. And that is not a good... When you have something like that where they don't need evidence, they can point at you and say, Big B, you're doping, you're out of here. And that's what they can do.
I didn't do it, I swear.
It's ridiculous. There definitely needs to be some checks and balances so that they don't do this in the future.
Well, I mean, I know you said, he has done a lot, but I think his bad outweighs his good, especially if you read the book by Tyler Hamilton, who had first eyewitness account of the stuff he did behind the scenes and what the cameras didn't see. Kind of like Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is totally different off camera than on camera from first eyewitness account and report. So, looks can be deceiving, that's for sure. So, from Against All Odds 20, what are your favorite Christmas specials to watch? A little Christmassy theme.
Oh, Christmassy. I enjoy the Christmas Story movie. That's on 24 hours a day on Christmas Day.
You
took my answer!
I'm not going to lie. I absolutely hate that movie.
And if when you shoot your eye out, you're going to have a different story.
And you're crushing the hundreds of people that watch this show.
If they got rid of this freaking movie and never showed it again, I would be happy.
You are ridiculous.
You're the Grinch.
Sir.
You're Scrooge.
You are the Grinch.
You're the Scrooge.
No.
You're the Scrooge. You're the real life version and the Disney version.
I'm not the Scrooge. I'll tell you what a good Christmas movie is. It's a Wonderful Life is a good Christmas movie.
My dad would agree with you. I would not.
That is a wholesome, good Christmas movie. The Flintstones Christmas Carol is a good movie. Okay? And Mickey Mouse's Christmas. So maybe I am a Scrooge.
Yeah, you are a Scrooge.
Maybe I am the Grinch.
Yeah,
the Grinch is epic, okay?
Which one?
Huh?
Which Grinch?
The cartoon Grinch.
Thank you.
The Boris...
the one with Jim Carrey was...
The Boris, whatever his name is, Grinch. That's a good Grinch. Yes. But no, Christmas Story can go away and never come back and I'll be happy.
I like 24 Hours of a Christmas Story. I also like Rudolph. I'm a big Rudolph.
Rudolph, Charlie Brown, Frosty.
Yeah, and Charlie Brown.
You would like Frosty.
Really?
Sheldon Cooper's take on that is hilarious, by the way, The Big Bang Theory.
From Guitar Hero 3214. Now that the 49ers beat the Patriots, do you think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL now?
The power rankings are out, according to experts that think they know more than this show. They are the number one team in the NFL. The power rankings, they are the undisputed number one among all the polls in the land. They are number one, and I'm gonna have to say that they are number one as well because of what Ric Flair used to say.
Be the man.
In order to be the man, you have to beat the man. And they beat one of the hottest teams in the NFL, if not the hottest team recently, especially in the month of December. They broke that 21-0 record that they had going in at home, or anytime really. 21-0 until last Sunday. Tom Brady hit Tom Brady mode, threw up 28 unanswered to tie the game. The Patriots never led, but the 49ers did not stop, did not give up. They showed resolve, and besides all that, who goes into Foxborough and puts 41 up against the Patriots in the month of December?
I don't know.
Nobody.
I think the British might have. Possible.
But I absolutely think that the 49ers are now the number one team in the NFL again.
I think you're going to disagree.
I could sit here today and try to disagree. I can throw all these numbers out and say this and that and then they looked shady at times, and they've lost to the Rams and tied the Rams, lost to the Vikings, and blah 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 blah. I can't do that today. I can't, because as much as I want to, as much as I don't want to agree with him about his 49ers, I don't. But I can't do that today. I can't do it because I felt New England was the top of the top in the NFL. I thought that's where they were, because they were playing so hot. They were beating teams easily. They shut down the Texans, which we thought were one of the best teams in the AFC defensively, and the Niners just shut them down. So then, not only did San Francisco beat New England, again, if you see the score, you think it was a close competitive game. It was not. New England got destroyed in the first quarter. It was 31-3 at one point. 31-3. Who does that to New England?
But that shows some like non-toughness on 49ers part to blow a 28-point lead and let them come all the way back and tie.
Right,
is not a good.
Right, so that's another thing you can think of as well. It's like the Niners had their foot on their throat and or the foot on the gas, and they didn't put it down. They kind of let up a little bit, and they eventually didn't end up winning, which is what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
But like I said, I can't sit here today and say the Niners are the best team in football. I can't do it.
Right.
I can't.
I mean, I think because they beat the Patriots, who's probably the best team in the AFC, they very well could be the best team. And if I had to pick right now, I would say, yeah, they're definitely the best team. I don't think the Patriots are the best team in the AFC.
More.
I honestly think the Broncos
I would agree with that.
AFC.
If they did the Baltimore,
we will continue user questions, and we'll get back with the show right after this.
Oh, babe, check this out. Hey, come on. You want a little chippy? You want a Dorito? Are you hungry? I want to get a Dorito.
Babe, don't hurt my dog.
Come on, get a tip. Come on, get a tip. Get a tip. Come on. Here we go. I want the Doritos.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. I am Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my Pepsi drinking colleague,
Pepsi Max,
Gary the Dr. Lockard, and Big B Brandon DeMuro. We were knee deep into user questions before the break, so let's delve right back into it. From DJ Becker Productions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So no longer DJ Becker Show.
Hashtag name change.
So no longer DJ Becker Show.
Hashtag no more DJ Becker Show.
Stop using hashtags.
When does Mr. Ziggles cash in Money in the Bank?
I tell you what, it's got to be soon. In the next 2 to 3 months.
I'm not happy.
They blew what I said. I think we all agreed was epic on last week's show. How they could have handled this situation, and it would have been epic. They should have done that, and they didn't.
I'll say 2 things. 1, I think what they did at TLC was way more epic from what I said.
Yes.
And 2, I have never been more angry, more frustrated at John Cena in my life after Monday Night Raw. Big Show is laid out. He is out cold. He's not getting up. He got beaten to hell by Sheamus. Ziggler comes out about to catch him. Guess who comes out and ruins it? John Cena.
But
to
John Cena, to defend, not to really defend John Cena, but to defend the situation. The rule states that when you cash in that briefcase, said individual with the title, i.e. the Big Show in this situation, has to be able to answer the ref's call in order for the bell to be rung.
I agree, but I'm saying...
it's not a 100% certain that the Big Show would have been able to answer the referee's call.
Right, but I'm saying, more than likely, if Big Show got absolved, Ziggler would have won that match. Because he got beaten to hell by Sheamus. He's not really in a state to fight anybody.
Right.
So...
But, I'm just saying.
But that's the question, when he catches Money in the Bank in... it's tough because now they're in the season of WrestleMania. Now you have Royal Rumble. Are they really going to change? Are they going to, put him in the Royal Rumble, or are they going to, because I can tell you right now, I don't see the Big Show being World Heavyweight Champion come WrestleMania time. I don't see that. I don't. So it could be Dolph Ziggler. I don't know who's going to fight. I don't know. Maybe John Cena goes to SmackDown. They have that. I don't know what they're going to do. But I say before WrestleMania rolls around, he is World Champion at some point.
Wouldn't it be awesome if they gave the WWE-Universe a Christmas present on Monday Night Raw this Monday, and they cashed it in on Monday Night Raw? Well, I'm just saying,
not going to happen.
But
not going to happen. Spoiler alert.
Might not happen.
Also from the DJ Becker Productions, and this will kind of... Never mind. Excuse me. We addressed that about John Cena.
Yeah.
So now
Now.
from the Jeffrey Caster and the DJ Becker Productions, you both kind of asked the same question. So we're going to give you both credit on this question, but I will read Jeffrey Caster's question. With all the weekly shows WWE puts out, do you think they are overextending themselves both creatively and physically?
And if you're watching, you're probably asking, what are you talking about? Is this Raw and Superstar, or is Raw, Main Event, and SmackDown? Well, think about it this way. You have shows almost every day. You have Monday is Raw. Tuesday, in this case, SmackDown was last week, or sometimes NXT is on, so that's still talent doing something. Wednesday is Main Event.
Yeah.
Well, again, they don't tape it Wednesday, but it's on Wednesday anyway. Programming in general.
They tape Main Event on Monday, I think.
Right. Thursday is Superstars.
It's taped on Monday or Tuesday.
Again.
And SmackDown's taped on Tuesday.
But it's on Friday.
So actually, they really only work Monday and Tuesday.
Right, but I think he meant programming-wise because they have to do the writing for all those shows. They have to write for Raw, NXT, Main Event, so on and so forth.
Well, Main Event and Saturday Morning Slam is only one match. And Superstars is only like
sometimes
2.
Main Event is 2. Sometimes Main Event is 2, Superstars is 2.
Sometimes. Well, Superstars is usually 2 or 3.
Right.
But Main Event and Saturday Morning Slam is usually 1.
I think they are extending themselves because if you remember the Attitude Era, all they had to work about was Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis, and then if February would work on, they had Raw, SmackDown, maybe Sunday Night Heat, so they wouldn't have to really do as much. Because
Sunday Night Heat was good.
Yeah, and it's not it's not bad that there's a lot of programming because there's a lot for a wrestling fan to watch, but from a creative side, you have to we have to think of this and then rewrite this and then move on to this and do that. It's a lot of programming for them to handle because they have to who's doing this on this night, or who's fighting who, or who's going here, who's doing that, who's doing what. It's just a lot to take on for those people that have to think of things on their feet really quickly, and it's kind of overextending the product because you really can't keep track sometimes of who's doing what from a creative standpoint because they have to figure out what's going on in this storyline, or how are we going to end this, or we're going to start this. It's too much because there's not a lot of people on those teams. I think it's McMahon and a bunch of other people in the room just to throw out ideas and see what sticks.
Not this past Monday, but the Monday before, they had 9 rewrites.
Yeah,
9 before they got to the one they used on the show. 9 rewrites.
So obviously that's an issue. So.
Yeah, I think we've said it before on the show that they're definitely extending past what they need to be. They need to focus on the writing for Raw and try to get SmackDown a little bit better than what it has been. Like you said, a way to do that might be to take on new writers because I think the ones that they have been letting them down, with the exception, from what I understand, of TLC and maybe a couple other pay-per-views this year. But their writing staff really hasn't produced a consistent quality product in a long time.
And the thing is, it's I watched SmackDown on Tuesday, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And because I think it was live, I think they really try harder on the live shows. And then, this is what me and him were talking about Sunday, and our friend Michael was on the show a couple weeks ago. We get frustrated because we thought TLC and Raw were very good, and I don't know why they can't. That's what here's the thing. If you watch TNA, be honest, TNA's not a great product. They're not. They're okay. They're not horrible, but they're okay. But WWE, there's times where they're absolutely fantastic. TLC was fantastic. Raw was great. You think, why can't they do all? That's what's so frustrating. They are capable of doing that all year long, and they don't do it. That's what gets me so mad. Is because you saw TLC, you saw Raw, and it was wow, this is good stuff. But then, 10 months out of the year, this is stupid stuff. It's just, what are you doing? You have the capability of making it good, and you don't do it. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I agree. So that wraps up user questions. We want to thank you for all the user questions, comments, quandaries, queries, and criticisms. So with that, we will head over to the doctor, and he will anoint this week's viewer of the week.
I want to give Buckin 5 his due credit for what he did for us.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think we need to give a dual viewer of the week because that last question, I think, was part of both of them. So
a dual
with the
you can tell it's Christmas time. Right?
With the caveat that Buckin 5 did something amazing for us this week, and I do appreciate that, and everyone appreciates that. But I think the most debate was done on the actual questions submitted by both Jeffrey Caster and DJ Becker Productions, and I think we can all agree on that. but I don't want to leave Buckin 5 out, so we will throw him in there too as well. And we will name
So it's a
triple threat
viewer of the week.
Triple threat viewer of the week.
With that, Big B, if you would please cue the funky music. Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
Oh my God! It's the Green Arrow doing the. It's Gary.
It's the Red Arrow.
Bilbo Baggins.
Who's the Red Arrow?
The sidekick.
Okay.
He does have a sidekick named the Red Arrow.
Bilbo Baggins.
Who?
Wow.
Anyway, random.
So where are we going to start on headlines right now? Let's start with the Mets trading R.A. Dickey to Toronto.
Oh, poor Big B.
There.
You know,
why? This doesn't make any sense.
You know, I've come to expect it. I've been a Mets fan all my life since I was 6 years old. I expect it. There's been times
Little Big B.
There's been times where the Mets were very good.
That's about the only sport you don't flip flop worse than a politician when it comes to your team like, isn't it?
There's been times when the Mets were good. They won the World Series obviously in '86. They got to the World Series in 2001. 2000 lost to the Yankees. We're very good in 2007. We're one game away from getting to the World Series. And now it's just this move does not make any sense to me whatsoever, because you have a pitcher who's been around the league a long time, very old pitcher in R.A. Dickey. He's old. He doesn't, he's not a well-known pitcher. He didn't have a great career in places like Texas and stuff like that. He didn't have a great career. Then he gets to the Mets and plays lights-out baseball, throwing a knuckleball that no one could figure out, and he wins the Cy Young because of it. Well-deserved. He definitely deserves to win the Cy Young this year for the Mets. Absolutely. You have an ace in Dickey now. You have two aces if Santana can stay healthy. You have Santana and Dickey. Good pitchers. Now, Santana's injury prone, so he's not as good as he used to be when he was playing before. Now, Dickey's gone. He goes to the Blue Jays to help them out. So it's like, these Mets owners need to go. I think they don't know what they're doing to the team. I mean, obviously they were involved in that Bernie Madoff scandal, which kind of hurt them monetarily. But it's just, they get a pitcher like R.A. Dickey. They don't make the playoffs, obviously, because they obviously need some more key pieces than just one pitcher. But they have an ace in R.A. Dickey who played, like I said, fantastic for the year. They're just like, oh, you know what? You can go on your way to Toronto. And also, they get nothing for it. They get minor leaguers. Please. Mets owners need to step down, hire somebody else, because this is pathetic. You are in the biggest market in all of baseball. You have the New York Yankees who play a subway's ride away from you, and they're the most successful franchise in all of baseball, one of the most successful franchises in all of sports.
Yeah, but I don't think the Mets really want to pay $18.9 million in luxury tax like the Yankees did this year.
Well, I'm just saying though. Look how successful the Yankees are.
That's exactly what
but I'm saying, look how successful the Yankees are.
Yeah, because they overpay for everything and they get what they want because they overpay.
Do the Mets not want to be successful? Because they're not going to be.
It's not that. To go with your point, and I was actually kind of hoping you'd wrap up your point like 5 minutes ago.
Well, I'm very frustrated.
But the Bernie Madoff thing definitely hurt them. This is a Mets team that lost about $50 million. Right. In owner, and maybe a little bit more. That was just reported.
Yeah.
And you have R.A. Dickey, who was salary cap basically, and would have hit over with what they had to do, what they have owed, would have made them have to pay this luxury tax.
Right.
And
that's correct.
They just can't afford that. This Mets team is hurting. And what I would do in order to get them back on, as you said, they are in one of the best markets you could be in. My solution would be sign a couple of low 1 to 2 year contracts over the next few years. Get yourself in a good position. Maybe rehire some people. Rehire new management staff, management office. Definitely some new accountants and. Start rebuilding from the ground floor, right. And maybe in about 5 or 6 years you have a Mets team that is not only healthy individually, healthy monetarily, maybe you have a Mets team that's a competitor.
Well, the only player they have right now is David Wright. And he's staying there until he's done. So.
They don't want to spend less than $10 million a year on any player.
Sure.
They're playing small ball. Sure. And they think it'll work.
And this Josh Brent situation, moving on, he was on the sideline. Nobody expected him to be on the Cowboys sideline.
It was a surprise to Jones and Jason Garrett.
I'm like, wait, what's he doing there?
But apparently the mother of the deceased said that Josh Brent needed support.
Right.
And that this is not a person, because they knew him, she's known him all of his life, so this is not a person that you can just abandon.
Right.
Yes, this was a reckless act. There's no doubt about it, and he will answer for it in a court of law.
Right, yeah.
But that does not mean that you need to be abandoned, because guess what? That may cost another life. So I think he already regrets it. And whatever happens in a court of law happens. And I'm not saying drinking and driving drunk is okay, because it's not.
No.
But you can tell that this man feels very badly about what happened.
Yeah.
And when you take that into account, the eyewitness report, maybe he's just so mortified with himself that he had a chance, was in shock, and could not save his friend's life. And when you couple everything together, this guy just feels horrible.
Yeah.
And I agree, he does not need to be abandoned. But now the Cowboys are saying he should not be on the sidelines going forward.
Right, yeah. It's just, they're supporting him sort of because they're allowing him to be in the facilities to go to the facilities for the Cowboys. But like I said, they're not allowing him on the sidelines, the rest of the year. And it's just, I think he left some because it was like he was becoming a distraction. I think that's why he left. And the Cowboys don't either right now because they're trying to make the playoffs. So I think this is a smart move by Dallas. And, I'm just, like I said, it's a very dicey situation with Josh Brent at this point. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a very dicey situation, but I don't think he should have been on the field, family or not. So with that, we will take a quick break, and we'll be back with headlines.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
And welcome back, everyone, to Triple Threat Talk. I am the Dr. Gary Lager. I almost forgot who I was for a second. This is Big B Brandon DeMuro, and this is Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers. Man, I'm having trouble.
He's forgetting.
So, getting back into headlines, Big B is up with something that he's going to do this week for people who are interested.
Yeah. Something we haven't done in a while, which we probably should start doing. I'm going to post a blog this week on the triplethreattalk.com fan advocate website. It's regarding this change they're making to the U.S. Open. There's an article I pulled. I'm going to try to get some information from that and deliver it to you in a blog. It's about they're changing the day of the U.S. Open to a Monday, and it's just a lot of changes they're making, and it kind of makes me want to speak out in a blog, so definitely check that out coming up this week.
Thank you for that. Johnny Manziel, the Player of the Year.
Duh.
I mean, was there a doubt? I mean, he wins the first freshman ever to win a Heisman. No. But it is official. He wins the Player of the Year. Huge upset in basketball this week. Yep. Butler takes down number 1 Indiana in OT, which in turn makes Duke number 1. Louisville goes to 5, and IU gets pushed back to 6, which is exactly what I told you would happen before the polls were released. Meanwhile, UK, I did not expect this after a one-game week. UK does squeak back into the top 25 at number 23. So that's a good thing.
You're in there.
And actually, Butler did squeak in, too. I meant to put that on. They are number 22. The Catholic schools are planning to leave the Big East.
Yep, all seven are leaving. All seven are leaving the Big East. So they're following suit with Louisville. So I think waiting on a couple moves, Louisville may very well be in the ACC starting this year.
And here's my question. Here's my question to you all. Does the Big East survive this?
No.
No, they're losing almost all the teams that they have in it.
But a lot of people are saying that a lot of the Conference USA teams are going to come up.
Well, yeah, that's what's been happening.
Yeah, but is the Big East going to solve? Is it going to survive?
No, it's not a strong conference anymore.
In 5 years, is there a Big East?
I would say yeah, but it's going to be one of the weaker conferences.
Yeah, it'll be a weak conference. It'll be there, but it won't be. It'll be Conference USA heavy.
Yeah, it'll be like I said, it'll be CUSA. On
steroids.
CUSA 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with what y'all saying. Sanchez to be benched for Greg McElroy and not Tim Tebow.
First off,
this is
Mark Sanchez has to be the worst quarterback ever. Ever. In
a league that contains both Blaine Gabbert and Phillip Rivers.
Let me explain.
Before you explain, I want to say one thing about Mark Sanchez.
Yes.
I think his QBR is what they're saying here. He ranks 36th out of 37 quarterbacks that are ranked. There's only 32 teams. 32. Go ahead.
He's worse than Blaine Gabbert. That's bad. No, Mark Sanchez, we thought Phillip Rivers was bad, and he is. But Mark Sanchez has the most turnovers in the league by one player, by a single player. Phillip Rivers is second. But Mark Sanchez alone has over 50 turnovers. 50 turnovers in the between this year and last year combined. He threw for 4 picks and fumbled the snap on the possible game-winning drive against the Titans. Awful! Awful!
Using my word now. Another thing they were saying, it's not just this year, but they were saying that since Mark Sanchez entered the league in 2009, he ranks last in every stat that they posted up there, like pass yards and
how do you as a quarterback? And it's not all him.
No,
but part of it was
he's missing some players.
But here's the thing: your first 2 years in the league, you go to the AFC Championship game,
and in one of those years, you put up over 4,000 yards.
2 years in a row, and now you're to this. You go from that to this. Pathetic.
Yeah,
you're going backwards, not forwards, and Rex Ryan.
Let's be clear about one thing here. Rex Ryan is the true villain and the true idiot here.
Right.
Because when you see that your quarterback is struggling this much from last year, you give him maybe 4 or 5 games. I give Rex Ryan the first part of the season. I honestly do.
A quarter of the season, 4 games.
Yeah, I give him that. But when you see that he is still not rebounded, and you have Tim Tebow, a guy who took the Broncos single-handedly on his back to the playoffs last year.
Had a lot to do with it.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't think they could have done it with. Who was the quarterback they replaced? Kyle Orton.
Yeah, Kyle Orton, Brady Quinn. The defense didn't have a big part of that, and I want to give their defense their due. But they would not have been able to put up points without Tim Tebow. And I think that you need to look at this. And now, Big B had a great point, but I need to segue into it. I'm going to give you credit for it, though. He had a good point that said, and he said that, Go ahead.
Well, before I get to that...
No, because I have a point that I still want to make.
I said about this decision about Rex Ryan playing Malcolm and Tebow. Here's the thing. Okay, if the Jets start Tim Tebow Sunday and they beat the Chargers, then they start him the next week and beat the Bills, Rex Ryan will look like an idiot because they'll be like, wait a minute. If they do this, people will be like, well, you know what? If you did this week 4 or 5, you might still be in the playoff hunt. Instead, now you look like an idiot because you didn't start him to begin with.
So they have this issue, and then they have Tim Tebow, who had such success last year, and you're going to skip over him, and you're going to put in Greg McElroy.
Wait, hang on a second. Tim Tebow went 8-4 last year with the Broncos, 7-4, and then won a playoff game, right?
Right.
So he started 12 football games.
Right.
He went 7-5.
Well, 7-5.
He went
7-5 because he lost.
We went 8-5. He went 8-5 because he was 7-4. They were
and then
they beat
playoffs.
So they lost the Steelers. So he was 8-5.
He has an over 500 record.
Yeah.
Has experience. Got a team to the playoffs. A team that had no shot to get into the playoffs.
1-4. They had like 1.2% chance.
They had like a 3% chance.
Yeah.
And Tim Tebow made them have that rest of that 97%.
Yeah.
And you're going to put in a guy who is unproven, couldn't win the other day. What's going on here?
I wouldn't go as far as to say it's not necessarily a bad thing because of just what you said. Because A, Rex Ryan's not going to want to make himself look like more of a moron than he already was.
Yeah.
And B, I don't think the Jets wanted him to begin with. The coaching staff.
No, of course not.
The owner wanted him.
Yeah. But
let's be very clear.
Yeah.
It was the owner that wanted
the attention.
And you're absolutely correct. But, huge but here, if your quarterback is failing, even if you don't want the guy,
it don't matter. If they don't want him, they don't have to play him. They can say, "Coach, you can bring him on the team or not."
Okay, I think here's the. What would you rather do? Would you rather go down as a bubbling buffoon, which Rex Ryan will now go down as, and cut ties with Mark Sanchez, or would you rather try to salvage your season whether or not you like a guy or not? Because hold on, I'm gonna bring it around here. John Elway did not like Tim Tebow, and he still made the decision to have John Fox put him in the game. So I think that at some point you put aside your differences when you know somebody can help you win games to save your own butt so that you do not look like an idiot, which Rex Ryan now does.
Plus, they both know that we all know that A, Tim Tebow won't be there the next year, and B, Mark Sanchez will be there this year, which leads me to this point, and I said this to you earlier, and I wanted to bring it up to the show. Who will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets next season?
I think they release Sanchez because he's too big of a cap to trade, so I think they're going to release him. Same thing with Tim Tebow. Actually, no. I think they release Sanchez. I think they trade Tim Tebow. I think Sanchez gets released. Maybe go somewhere like Arizona or Kansas City. Maybe Oakland to be back up to Carson Palmer. Maybe. As far as Tim Tebow goes, I think he gets traded for Chad Henne. I think Henne and him switch. I think Henne goes to the Jets and probably as a starter. Because he didn't play that bad after. I mean, Jacksonville just loaned him anyway. But I think they're better off with him anyway than playing Gabbard. I honestly think that. So I think Tim Tebow goes to Jacksonville. I think Chad Henne goes to the Jets, honestly.
Here's what I said. In a quarterback lacking environment, let's say that, for this next class, you have Kansas City, who's going to be the worst team. They're going to have the worst record.
Either them or Jacksonville. They're on
I think, but see, Jacksonville's not going to change Blaine Gabbert out already. But
if they get Tebow, maybe
the first team that's going to need a quarterback is going to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to take Matt Barkley. They're going to take Matt Barkley.
I don't think they would.
Him or A.J. McCarron, who's coming out of the draft.
If A.J. McCarron goes.
Yeah.
But, and here's the other thing. Well, here's where I'm going with that. I don't think another team is going to need a quarterback until you get to the Jets. And I think Geno Smith will be the man for Rex Ryan. And then because I think that what you're going to have is a quarterback. Things move fast in New York, okay? Things move fast in New York. Rex Ryan is going to want to mold a guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to let his ego get in the way of trading for a starting quarterback from something else. He wants to build his own guy. And I don't think Colin Klein is the answer for them. I think that they're going to go the way of Geno Smith.
I like that when you said that. I think possibly Rex Ryan is looking at the Redskins and the Seahawks where they have a quarterback that's a mobile quarterback, can not only run the ball, but can throw on the run, has a good strong arm. Right? Geno Smith has that. I think he's looking like, it's working for Washington, it's working for Seattle. I think he should try that. And I think, what do you got to lose? Your quarterback's thing anyway. Why not try it? You know what I mean?
I think also you got to look at will Tony Soprano be the offensive coordinator next year?
I don't think so.
And if he is, I'm saying if he is still there, look for them to maybe bring in his quarterback he had with the Dolphins.
Matt Moore.
Because the Dolphins were actually successful. They were getting somewhere. I think he got wrongfully terminated. I don't think he should have been terminated.
Right.
Because
Matt Moore's not a bad quarterback.
I think the Dolphins were making improvements. Yeah. And now they're taking they went down again.
Well, I mean, not every rookie's going to be successful.
No, but
Tannehill's going to get Tannehill.
Yeah. But they could get Matt Moore. Yeah. But
it's not like there's not any quarterback out there from the team.
No, but
funny.
I think they'll get Michael Vick.
I don't think so. I think Michael Vick is going to be backing somebody.
Because he's, like you said, he's mobile.
I think they want a younger guy, though.
But I think they're going to want a younger guy. And like I said, Rex Ryan's ego is not going to let someone...
Rex Ryan might not be there either.
Well, if he is, and I think that he might be, because he's going to blame everything on Mark Sanchez. And he might get away with it this year. He might.
We'll
and
see.
if that happens, I don't see them getting Michael Vick. I don't see Michael Vick being a starter.
I see him
I see him being a backup, which I think leads you to what you were going to say next.
Okay, yes. My next question would be this. Where will we see Mark Sanchez suit up next year?
I said Arizona. They are as bad as you get when it comes to the quarterback. All three of them are terrible. At least one game this year, Brady Quinn played very well.
Brady Quinn. He plays for the...
Well, that's what I'm saying. He played because he mentioned Kansas City.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn has played somewhat good in a couple games this year, so he has the talent. He has the potential to play well. I don't think Matt Castle's the answer because the only reason he was good is because he was in the system in New England. I think he goes to Arizona because they desperately need somebody. And I think they take a chance with Sanchez. They need somebody. I
don't think that's going to happen because I told PostMaster that I think Alex Smith is going to be an Arizona Cardinal this year, and I'm not sure. And I said I did expand on that, and I said in the event that he does not play another game for the 49ers, if for some reason I don't want this to happen, I don't want anyone to get hurt, but if Colin Kaepernick gets hurt, Alex Smith's going to have to step up, and he's going to win games. He's going to win games. If he is in a position where he wins the Super Bowl for the 49ers, you can't let him go at that point.
But when you get Colin Kaepernick.
No, I think Colin understands. Well, Colin Kaepernick can't go anywhere.
Well, yeah,
because he's still going to be an unrestricted free agent, or a restricted free agent.
So where do you?
So he stays there. Alex Smith stays for one more year, at least, maybe 2 more years, maybe until Colin Kaepernick becomes a unrestricted free agent. Then they get rid of Alex Smith. But in the event that Alex Smith leads them to a Super Bowl and wins that Super Bowl, I think he stays. Other than that, he goes to the Cardinals, and we'll be back right after this.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Hey.
My little boy loves playing football.
It's a great game.
But what is the NFL doing to make the game safer?
We're doing a lot. Carl?
Well, Tom, we're developing new rules to better protect our players.
And over the next decade with the NFL Players Union, they're dedicating more than $100 million for medical research.
Wow.
As well as supporting the development of better and safer equipment.
And I feel a lot better about him playing.
Love to meet the little guy.
Ray, meet Tom.
Cute kid.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. I am Postmaster Joseph Jimmy Biggers along with Big B, Brandon Miro, and Gary, the Dr. Lockers. Before the break, we were delving into where will Mark Sanchez go?
I don't think Mark Sanchez is going to go anywhere, to be honest. I think he's going to be backing up somebody. I don't think he's that good.
He's still got to go somewhere.
Yeah, he's still got to go somewhere. If I had to guess, I'd say he'd be backing up Matt Schaub in Houston. I think. I
don't know. I think they got a very good backup there.
Well, see,
TJ Yates is good.
TJ Yates is good, but when you have, I think you're maybe looking at a second or third string possible for Mark Sanchez, and the reason that I think wherever he goes is going to be a strong running presence. Mm-hmm. He could go to the Vikings behind Christian Ponder. He could go to Houston behind TJ Yates and Matt Schaub. Yeah. He could go to Jacksonville where they have Maurice Jones-Drew.
Could you imagine if Mark Sanchez went to Jacksonville and Tim Tebow
and Tim Tebow started? He could go. Wherever he goes is going to be a strong running game because where he's going to end up is this place where all he's got to do is, hey, here, run the ball.
Would you be? I thought about 2 teams. Arizona, which like I said, they need a quarterback. I think they take a chance. And then the team you mentioned the formula with a good running game. Oakland. Oakland has Darren McFadden, and it'd be kind of interesting. He'd be back, and Carson Palmer also went to USC.
I've heard worse ideas.
So that could be a possibility. Oakland.
I've heard worse ideas.
I think he could venture up north and play for the Agronauts.
hey, no knocking the CFL. People go up there and success, and they come back and they play strong. Look at Warren Moon. So.
And Tom Brady probably gives us the stupidest statement of the week. We gave the 49ers the game. Agree or disagree?
I'll say this about the game this much. You could not find, I am being serious, 100% serious, you could not find a more passionate fan of the New England Patriots than me on Sunday night. Because I was worried about two things Sunday afternoon. I was saying, okay, well, three things. I hope Washington took care of business against Cleveland because I know how Kirk Cousins was going to play, and he played great. He played good enough to win, and they won. I was worried about Seattle because Buffalo at times can be good. They have a good defense, and sometimes Fitzpatrick can get hot. Seattle won that game easily. So they took care of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They took care of business.
They ran up scoring again. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so two teams do exactly what I needed them to do. They win. Just like that's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to win in the NFL. Then we get to Sunday night.
I thought you could lose and be okay.
Yeah, you can still lose.
Not in this situation. So now, New England plays at home where they're virtually unbeatable in the month of December. They play the 49ers, who are going cross-country to play the Patriots in Foxborough.
Did they run?
Cross-country.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Go.
So disrespectful. Anyway, they play in Foxborough, and you're looking at the score, and it's score after score, until it's like 31-3, and you're like, it's over. And then New England comes back, ties it up, and then, San Francisco finishes it off. So now, to go on Seattle's point, unless, and this is not going to happen because I know it's not going to happen, unless unless the Cardinals beat the 49ers in the last game of the season, which is highly doubtful, Seattle cannot win the division now. Even if they win out, Seattle can win the division. They can win next week and they can beat the Rams. The Niners, we're not going to lose to the Cardinals. So the Niners win the division. We're hopefully getting the playoffs. But going back to New England, you gave them this game. I think the Niners took it from you because there's no denying the Niners are a physical football team. I think they're slightly better with Colin Kaepernick because he's more dynamic than Alex Smith. I think the thing with Brady is that, don't get me wrong, Brady's a fantastic football player. There's no doubt about it. Super Bowl champion, highly, Hall of Famer. But when you say you gave them this game, that's kind of, in a way, disrespecting the 49ers. Because you're saying, well, you know what? They can't beat us. We beat ourselves. That's kind of saying, you know what? They're not very good. They play in that West that was really bad years ago. They don't deserve to be in the same class. So that's kind of disrespectful to me. So I think, for me, the professional and the competitive person that Tom Brady is, I think should have come out to you know what? They were just better than us that day. Hopefully maybe we'll meet them in the road in Super Bowl. Probably wasn't going to make Super Bowl because, we'll see how it happens. But I think you should have mentioned, they played a great game. There's some things we could have executed better. But this time they just got the better of us, and that's the end of it.
I think it's a completely ludicrous statement to say that a team that you did not lead at all, and at one point we're down 31-3, it is ludicrous to say that you gave them the game because Tom Brady hit Tom Brady mode. He was in the kill mode. And very few teams, I don't think I've seen any teams really survive it. The 49ers almost didn't, but they did win by 10 points. Yeah. You had Danny Woodhead going nuts. Yeah. You had Tom Brady going great. Aaron Hernandez was having a great game. Yeah. You didn't give the 49ers the game. They stopped Tom Brady in his kill mode. Mm-hmm. He was warming up on the sidelines in between series, which he never does.
No, he was focused, Brady.
He was focused. He hit that Tom Brady mode, and the 49ers were still able to stick it to him. If for just a second that the Patriots would have had the lead, I might be more inclined to agree with Tom Brady. Right. But given the circumstances and the way it went down, you lost.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see how you can say you gave them the game when you were down 31-3 and you came back. Yeah. You came back, and then you lost. That's just it. I don't know how you say you gave them the game.
I totally agree. I mean, you never led at one point, not at all. You were behind the whole game. You came back, you tied it up, and then you fell just a bit short. Mm-hmm. Maybe your defense could have played a little better. Maybe you could have worded it a little better. Right. Maybe it was his way of, I don't know, subliminal messaging to his defense. I have no idea, but whatever it is, you definitely didn't look very smart making that statement. So, moving on to a couple other games of note from this past week. Mm-hmm. The Giants get absolutely walloped.
And before we talk about this game, I do want to talk about it. There were 3 shutouts in the NFL.
Yeah, yep. The Falcons beat the Giants 34-0. The Saints beat the Bucks 41-0. And the Raiders in a field goal bowl 15-0 over
Janikowski earned his paycheck.
Chiefs. But with the Giants-Falcons game, wow. I did not expect that at all.
Here's the thing about the Giants. I don't get them. I don't. They go into Candlestick, win 26-3. They put up 52 on the Saints, and the Saints aren't a good defense, but 52 is a lot of points. And then they play the Falcons, who lost to Carolina the week before, and the Falcons just come in and beat them 34-0. It's kind of the Giants are a team that should score something. 34-0. That defense
bad.
That defense. Here's two things that boggle my mind about this game. One, you're telling me the defense with O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, and all those guys in defense give up 34 points. And you tell me Eli Manning, Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks can't score a single touchdown? I just don't know what's with this team.
At one point, we were watching the games together. At one point, I looked over you all and I said, Eli Manning, according to ESPN standard scoring, has negative 4.5 points.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's definitely bad. It was a bad showing all around.
He finished with 9.5 standard points when he averages over 40.
Can anybody here, because I can either you or you, figure out this Giants team? Who are they? Are they the team that beat San Francisco?
I don't think they know.
Well, I'm saying, are they the team that beat San Francisco, or are they the team they played last Sunday?
They're the classic Jekyll and Hyde. That's what they are.
That's what they're. Whoever they want to be that day when they.
And you know what? This is not the typical year for them, because usually they sneak into the playoffs and they win the Super Bowl. I don't see that this year. They connected by the Ravens. I mean, we'll get to our picks in a little while, but I don't see them beating the Ravens after the Ravens lost these games they lost in a row.
Yep, we shall see. Definitely.
So,
the Packers win the division. They beat the Bears 21-13. Great performance by James Jones and Aaron Rodgers with a little help from Randall Cobb along the way.
little help. 100 yards, little help.
I made the statement, and I know when you're on a team, you're on a team.
Yeah.
But to give James Jones all 3 touchdown passes when other people are open, and after Randall Cobb does most of the work for your team,
this is kind of how it is.
You're going to give James Jones all 3 touchdown passes?
Yeah. You know, on the other side, God, dude, the Bears look awful recently.
They have fallen.
I mean, Brian Urlacher's out for the season. He's out for the season. Might be done for his career, depending on the injury and the severity of it. Face it, the Bears' offensive line has never been good. Cutler has never had any time to throw the ball, and due to that, he's banged up. He's got injured ribs, he's got a hurt back, his neck's messed up. He can't get any protection, so it doesn't surprise me that Cutler goes down 5 times a game.
Definitely, I agree.
So the Bears. Here's the thing about the Bears, okay? Losing to the Packers, there's no embarrassment because the Packers are one of the better teams in the NFC. Okay? Losing to us a couple weeks back is not embarrassing because we're one of the better teams in the NFC as well. But if they lose next week to the Arizona Cardinals, heads are going to roll. Mike Tyson might get fired. Lovie Smith might be in trouble. You cannot lose to the Arizona team because they need to probably win out to make the playoffs. Probably.
Speaking of Arizona, though, they did edge out the Lions 38-10.
How bad are the Lions? How bad are they?
I mean, that was a complete shock. The Cardinals went in. We all was like, oh, the Lions will win. The Lions will win.
No, we all picked the Lions. Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen worse quarterbacks in my life than Arizona.
Yeah, and they put together a very good game. Very good. Good for Larry Fitzgerald.
I think Sanchez could play better.
He finally got a good game out of everybody else. I mean, he's only one man. He can only do so much.
Exactly.
I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, really.
But Houston.
I was going to say, but on the flip side with Detroit, I'll say on this show right now, congratulations to Calvin Johnson. He is probably going to break the Madden curse because he's on pace with 2 games left to break Jerry Rice's all-time receiving yards record. So kudos to him for doing that. But again, you could look at it where still the Madden curse might loom a little bit because his team is not as good as they should be.
Yeah, so could be.
But that's
The Houston Texans clinched the AFC South, beating the Indianapolis Colts 29-17 at home, holding serve and holding court. Nice job by the Texans to rebound after that damaging loss to the Patriots the week before. It was a good bounce back game for them. The Broncos make the Ravens look absolutely stupid at home. They just pretty much crushed the Ravens. That game wasn't even close.
Joe Flacco looked terrible.
He was hot.
And did you hear the quote from Joe Flacco after that game?
No.
After they lost to the Broncos, he said, I feel like we're 0-14. He said that. I feel like you're 0-14.
I think the way he played, he probably feels like 0-14 himself.
Yeah, really.
The Redskins with Captain Kirk Cousins. Good performance. They beat the Browns. Yeah. The Browns were on a hot streak. I mean,
they were hot in the AFC North.
They were, like I said, they still are. I think, in my mind. Good stuff there by him. He started out a little shaky.
Yeah.
Threw that early pick, but once he got the cobwebs out,
once he started getting going, he was on.
Honest opinion, I'm sitting there and Big B goes from cussing Kirk Cousins.
I wasn't cussing at all.
He was yelling, screaming, oh God, to oh yeah, yay. I'm like, What a turnaround.
Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Yeah, definitely typical Jekyll and Hyde
Right.
for sure. That is for sure.
Sure.
Any other games of note you guys really want to mention?
I gotta go down here to this Saints Bucks games, 41-0, and a Bucks team that's been good this year.
You're not going to win many football games in the NFL when you throw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, Josh
Freeman,
4 picks.
Yeah.
And I do want to point out that I know you don't like to hear it, but the Seahawks definitely ran up the score again this week.
And
50-17.
Pete Carroll even apologized this week.
He apologized for going for the punt. I get that.
So therefore, he acknowledges running up the score.
That's not running up the score.
He went fake punt when they were up like $1 million to nothing.
Here's the thing about that. He did apologize for that. He said it was in the game. He said it was in the game plan, so he did apologize for that. But you know what? Like I said, I don't think it's running up the score because Buffalo is a team that can get hot at any moment. Buffalo is that kind of team.
How would you like it if you were on the other side of the coin?
I hope the 49ers beat you guys like 60-0.
That's not going to happen.
I'm just saying, I hope.
Yeah, you hope. Wishful thinking.
Because then I'll be like, we didn't run up the score, and you totally did. And we'll be like, ha! How does that feel?
That's what happens on Sunday.
We will see.
I mean, don't you get the feeling that that's what would happen?
Yeah, I think if any team has a chance to run up the score in Seattle, I would. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No disrespect to you, but Pete Carroll's an ass. End of story.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
I disagree with it wholeheartedly.
I mean, he was very notoriously for doing it in college.
That's college, but anyway.
Again, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You don't do it ever. You do not. It's totally.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Speaking of college, your coach ran up the score.
Huh?
Yeah. When Jim Harbaugh played Pete Carroll, Stanford's USC, they were up.
They hate each other.
They hated
I
each
don't
other.
care.
They still hate each other.
They hate each other.
So you know what?
In a rival game, anything goes.
You know what then? Then I expect to see the score went up by somebody on Sunday. Then.
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to
It's going to be a
happen.
closer game.
That's going to be a good.
And we're going to find out just how close and just what the picks are as we get into pick'ems right after this.
Hey Cam, thanks a lot for coming to my school today.
No problem, Nate.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
And I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
I'm playing the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And be drafted number 1.
Maybe.
Become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you. And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
I'm just loosening my arm.
And we're back on Triple Threat Talk. I am Big B, Brandon Muir, alongside Gary, the Dr. Lockard, and PostMaster Jones, Mr. Jimmy Bigger. See, I get it right.
That's right.
And during the break, these two were having a shouting match.
Right.
Over the fact of that Big B just can't get it through his head that Pete Carroll likes to run up the score.
He's not a very good man. He's a good coach. He's not a good man.
He needs to learn when to take his foot off the gas.
And I think Jim Harbaugh this week is going to show.
This is going to be interesting because these two hated each other, like you said, in college. Quit clocking your fingers like a chicken. These two hated each other in college, and these two get to square off in the NFL.
And
before one quick thing before pick'ems.
Yes,
I am very impressed with the Cowboys. That win against Pittsburgh, it's a very impressive win. Very impressive. How about the Steelers too?
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
They came out of nowhere.
Well, I'm saying I think it's something.
I don't think they're that bad. It was a good play. Simple as that. It wasn't a bad throw. It was not a bad throw. It was a good play.
Steelers are struggling.
But the Steelers could still make it. If they went out, they make the playoffs.
But
end of story.
The thing I want to say about this is Ben Roethlisberger is hurting his team by being in right now. I mean, he just is.
So, NFL Week 16 pick'ems. 16! Week 16!
2 weeks to go.
Why is this game listed first, by the way? This is a Saturday night game.
Saturday Night Football.
Is there no Thursday night this week? Fast.
Last week was last Thursday.
That sucks.
Saturday Night Football.
Saturday Night Football.
SNF.
Monday night.
Atlanta at Detroit.
I think Atlanta wins this game. They're going to wrap up number 1 seed. Atlanta.
I'm going Atlanta.
Atlanta, definitely. The Raiders go on the road to Carolina.
I'm picking the Panthers.
I think he needs to score more than 15 points and field goals to beat Carolina. I picked the Panthers.
I picked the Panthers as well. The Buffalo Bills, coming off the running up the score game against the Seahawks,
Good Lord.
go on the road to take on the Dolphins.
I'm picking the Bills.
I'm picking the Dolphins.
Okay.
I think I'll go with the Dolphins. In a game that the Steelers must have, and basically full control of the wild card is on the line here. The Bengals go on the road to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers.
I'm picking the Bengals.
Sorry, Steelers are done. They had their chance and they didn't take advantage of certain situations. I picked the Bengals. Steelers are out.
I don't think the Steelers are going to lose this one at home. I pick the Steelers.
Talk about running up the score next one.
The New England Patriots on the road in Jacksonville.
Tough game.
To take on the Jags.
The Patriots are obviously angry. I mean, there's no discussion. I'm picking the Patriots.
Wouldn't be surprised if the score was like 70-0. I picked New England.
I picked New England as well.
This has to be the most lopsided game of the year. Absolutely.
Which one?
New England and Jacksonville.
You think?
Absolutely.
The Indianapolis Colts, coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Houston Texans, go on the road to take on probably the worst team in football, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm picking the Colts.
Congratulations to the Colts, because if Steelers lose, they're in the playoffs, and if they win, they'll be in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. They're going to win, and they're going to be the Chiefs. I picked the Colts.
Colts. In a game that the Cowboys must have to keep their playoffs hopes alive, we have a three-way tie for the NFC East. The Saints at the Cowboys.
I think Drew Brees, like I said, is a great quarterback. He's going to keep this offense in the game for the Saints. However, the Cowboys are the more well-rounded team because they actually have a defense. They need this game. Tony Romo's actually been playing well the last few weeks. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one.
I think if the Cowboys didn't win the game last week against the Steelers, I'd probably pick the Saints here, because the Cowboys usually don't win at home. And they did last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I picked the Cowboys this week. I think the Cowboys are getting kind of hot at the end of the season.
Oh, Romo, how you let us down.
Romo.
I picked the Saints.
Okay.
The Washington Redskins against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm picking the Redskins.
RG3 is probably going to come back this week. He's been in practice, so it looks like he's going to play. I picked the Redskins.
I don't think it would matter. I think it could be Kirk Cousins or RG3. Okay. I picked the Redskins.
For Kirk Cousins, I might go the other way, but
I don't think I would.
Really? Okay.
I was very impressed with the way he played the other night.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay Bucks are at home to take on the St. Louis Rams.
The Bucks are mad, and they're going to take it on the Rams. I'm going to pick the Bucks.
I don't think Freeman throws 4 interceptions again. I picked the Bucks.
The Bucks are at home. If this were in St. Louis, I'd pick the Rams. However, they are at home, so I take the Bucks.
This next game, get me a barf bag, please.
The Triple Threat Talk Week 16 Toilet Bowl Game of the Week.
Give me a barf bag, please.
The San Diego Chargers, the worst team in the AFC West, to take on the...
They're not worse than the Raiders.
They're one of the worst.
Yeah.
To take on the worst team in football here lately. The New York Jets.
Pathetic.
The Jets are completely in shambles. This move is going to rip. This move has ripped the locker room in half. Mm-hmm. They could be playing the Chiefs this week, and I would pick the Chiefs.
Really? Okay.
I'm picking the Chargers.
And kudos to the NFL for changing this game around, because it's supposed to be a Sunday night game. Kudos to them.
Talk about a
Greg McElroy won that game at Arizona.
Yeah.
But the Chargers, they're not Arizona. I picked San Diego.
I picked the Lightning Bolts.
What a game this is going to be. Probably like 10-7. Exciting.
Woohoo! The Tennessee Titans go on the road to Lambeau Field to take on Aaron Rodgers. Discount double check and all. In the Green Bay Packers.
No mustache.
I'm picking the Packers minus the stash.
Oh, man. I was impressed with Chris Jones on Monday night. He did have that nice 94-yard run, but after that he was kind of shut down. I picked Green Bay. Green Bay's getting pretty hot towards the end.
To your point, he had the 194-yard run, and the other 21 rushes he combined for 28 yards. Ouch. Not even a yard a carry. I picked the Packers.
Yeesh, I say.
The Minnesota Vikings, who are in the playoffs right now. The playoffs. They're 8-6.
Well, yes. They're not in, are they?
Well, right now they're in, is what I'm saying. As of right now.
I thought the Giants were ahead of them.
No, they're in. They're in right now. 8-6. Vikings go on the road to the AFC South, clinching Houston Texans.
Vikings will lose this game. They will probably win next week. I'm picking the Texans.
I'm picking the Texans, but look for Adrian Peterson to break the record probably in the final game of the season. I picked the Texans.
I don't think the Texans want to lose that 1 seed, overall 1 seed.
Because Broncos can get there.
And the Broncos can do it.
If they don't rest Peyton Manning.
Yeah. So I'm picking the Texans. Speaking of the Broncos, they close out at home for their last 2 games, and their first game is against the Cleveland Browns.
I'm picking the Broncos.
John Fox said today that he doesn't see sitting Peyton Manning, and I don't think they will, and I think they win this game against the Browns.
I think sitting Peyton Manning for this game would be a mistake. If they did it next week, I would be shocked too, because they're in the driver's seat to have a bye,
right?
Because they're now second in the AFC.
If they clinch the bye this week, I think they'll rest him next week.
But just to let you know, for the Denver Broncos to clinch home field, they have to win, and New England has to lose, so that's not going to happen this week.
No, I mean, if they win out though, they will be.
Right.
If they win out, they will have second place, and they'll get a bye.
If they win this week, it doesn't matter what happens.
Right.
They will not.
Well, if New England wins too.
No, because they're still a game behind.
Because they're still a game behind.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. The Chicago Bears, who are actually falling faster than the New Year's Eve ball this coming.
Oh God, that again.
Go on the road to Arizona to take on the Cardinals.
You know what? I think the Cardinals last week was just 8 weeks straight of frustration.
Fool's gold.
And they found a way to win against the Lions.
So you're picking them again?
No, I don't see Lightning striking twice, especially since Lightning will be wrestling with the Jets. I'm picking the Bears.
This game is like, who's worse at this moment, the Bears or the Cardinals? I think the Cardinals just got lucky last week. I picked the Bears.
I agree. I take the Bears. And what earlier in the year you would have said probably would be a very great game.
Super Bowl preview, possibly.
Yeah, a very awesome match to watch, but in fact, both of these teams are struggling mightily. The Ravens have lost back-to-back at home, and now are at home again against Eli Manning and the falling New York Giants.
I don't think there's any way that the Ravens can withstand this. You have a mad Jets team, or a mad Giants team.
Jets are right, too.
A mad Giants team going up against a Ravens team that is just... They're lost defensively. Joe Flacco has not been playing well, and your 2 playmakers are constantly being double-teamed because you don't have another wide receiver on your team that can even make a play. I'm picking the Giants.
Both teams, like PostMaster said, both teams are struggling. The Ravens have lost, 3 in a row now? 3 or 4 in a row? But I don't see that continuing. I think the Ravens win this game. I think they get back a little bit of momentum before they get into the playoffs. I pick the Ravens.
The Ravens are, if they lose, now, albeit if they lose again, they stand a chance of actually losing the division.
So the Steelers, if the Steelers can beat the Bengals.
Yeah. So I don't see the Ravens losing 3 straight at home.
Yeah,
I mean, the Giants...
Like I said, if they show up Sunday, again, who are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm torn here, but I'm going with the Ravens.
They're the hardest team to figure out, the Giants. They are.
The game of the week.
Thank you, NFL.
Will be Sunday Night Football, and it will be all for everybody to see. The San Francisco 49ers on the road to the 12th man and the Seattle Seahawks.
Last week I made the statement that the 49ers would go 1-1 over the next couple weeks.
Dun dun dun.
They do have a lot of momentum after beating the Patriots. However, on the flip side of the coin, you have to go 3,000 miles the other way to go one of the hardest places to play in the NFL.
Or in their case, a couple hundred miles up north.
Well, they're leaving from New England.
Yeah, they're leaving from New England. This game could go either way. It really could. And I think San Francisco is actually a favorite by 2 points.
Well, right now it's a pick 'em. Really?
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Heads, we're going with the Niners. Tails, we're going with the Hawks.
Here we go.
Tails.
Going with the Hawks. Don't even feel bad about it.
Like I said before, it doesn't matter if Seattle wins this game or not. They're still not going to win the West unless, like I said, the Arizona Cardinals beat the 49ers. I don't see that happening.
But they do still have the chance to be in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, the Seahawks win this game, they're in. Regardless of what happens. So, if Alex would win this game, it might be a little easier to pick the Niners, but this is Colin Kaepernick's first test, and I like to call this the land of Oz. The land of Oz is CenturyLink Field, where things happen that you can't explain because the crowd is so noisy and things just happen that you no idea what's going on. And I think Kaepernick's going to get rattled. That crowd's going to be hostile. This is the first time in 2 years, the first time since Pete Carroll joined the team 3 years ago, that team actually had a chance to make the playoffs with a winning record anyway. Russell Wilson has the top QBR since week 6 of any quarterback, more than Peyton Manning and more than Tom Brady. I think Russell Wilson's making a strong case for Rookie of the Year because he has the best numbers, 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's just sick numbers for a rookie. I picked Seattle.
This just in. San Francisco is not Buffalo and they're not Arizona, and they're going to prove to Seattle why they're the best in the NFC West. They're going to prove to Seattle why they're the best team in the NFL. They go into CenturyLink and and I don't even call it an upset, and I think they win by 10 or more points. I picked.
You're out of your mind for that one, but okay. CenturyLink Field,
Like I said, I didn't officially pick my own.
You let Thomas Jefferson pick your one.
I gave you a strong case as to what could happen.
I would not be surprised if I hope the Niners do win. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
I agree with you.
It's nothing against your team, fella. I'm just saying.
But I'm saying though, if Alex Smith were playing, I can agree with you because he's been there before. But Colin Kaepernick is not used to that yet. He's not used to that environment.
Let this record show. I did not pick my Niners to lose. The coin did.
So blame money. Yeah, everyone else plays money. So just
blame the nickel. So you're blaming Jefferson.
Jefferson. How dare you blame him?
But like I said,
his housekeeper did.
But like I said, fella, I think the 49ers are they got something to prove here.
Okay. In the event that a form of currency did not pick my win, I would agree with what he said. I mean, he makes perfect sense.
On the flip side, I think Seattle has something to prove because they lost last time 13-6 and they should have won that game.
But another thing that I don't think got enough play this week was that Bill Belichick eats young quarterbacks alive, and that's usually a big enough test. And Colin Kaepernick did withstand that. It just gets a little loud in there. Yeah, we'll be back after the break.
Fast forward, rewind. Fast forward, rewind. That's called a juke. I know your eyes are closed, but really you should look at this. Fast forward, rewind. Right there. Wait, let me slow it down. Ooh, I missed the tackle. Here. It almost looks better from back here. That is convincing. You're crying.
Madden NFL 13, rated E for everyone. A new look, a new feel, a new way to Madden forever. EA Sports, it's in the game.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host Gary the Dr. Lockard and Big B Brandon DeMiro. Thank you for that. So we talked about a lot about football, a lot of good games coming up this week, a lot of big games. Now we delve into the wonderful world of professional wrestling, and wow, what a week! That's all I can say.
As far as OVW is concerned, I wrote down our good friend Austin, Austin Bradley,
the one who I was able to manage on his debut.
He was in Homecoming. This past
who by the way be your guy?
Anyway, that's enough of that. That was that time. This is.
I know.
Austin won the Homecoming Battle Royal, which is very good for him. He was the king of Homecoming last Sunday, which is very good for him. So congratulations to him on that one. Nothing I can say. Congratulations. I mean,
Roberto Del Luna.
Making his comeback, he will be able to full recovery and be able to do full contact and wrestling in January. So welcome back, Roberto, the Mexicutioner.
Right. And as far as the show goes this week, if you probably can notice on the notes, I didn't write anything down.
Right.
The reason I did that is the past couple of weeks, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to either A, go to OVW or B, watch it.
Neither or any of us have been able to.
So the past couple weeks when I've been reading the results, I've been reading them off OVW Mania, the Brian Cannon's website. So this week, if you want to know what happened with OVW, go there. I'll put the link below. You can check out all the results there if you're interested in that. Like I said, it doesn't make sense for us to discuss OVW if we weren't there or didn't witness it or watch it on TV.
Well,
we really can't give a valid opinion on it if we just read it.
I don't even think that that's the case. It's the fact that they filmed 2 shows, and I really don't know which one they're going to air.
Right, exactly.
So we don't want to spoil anything either.
Right, absolutely.
But
that's for me. That's the main reason.
Right. But like I said, it doesn't make sense to us covering something if we just read it and we can't really see what happened, just reading something. So, like I said, if you're interested in what happened with OVW this week, both the shows, and they're obviously filming 2 shows this Wednesday as well.
Right.
Go to ovmania.blogspot.com.
Yeah,
check that out if you want
one out.
Yeah, right.
That was a mouthful.
And check it out at ovwrestling.com as well, and then of course Blip TV.
Blip.tv. You can check them out on Facebook.
Channel 138. Channel 138. WKYI Insight Channel. 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
Yep. And it was always
And then catch Trailer Park Trash January 17th on Spike TV as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Absolutely. So, moving on from that to WWE coverage. TLC, the doctor was not in attendance. He was
watching the Niners
whip up on the Patriots. However, I was here with in the DeMuro studios and residence with Big B and our good friend Michael Rickard, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. John, Keith, and the other John. Wow.
Yeah.
I told you before.
Yeah, you're right.
I told you before the show. I said, Big E, do not be surprised if this is not one of the best pay-per-views of the year. And you were like, I don't know. You were kind of questioning. I was like, I'm telling you.
I had a right to question after recent stuff.
Yeah. I was like, TLC, they usually play. And I was right.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Actually, all these matches have merit for me. The first one I don't get. I don't understand that at all.
Naomi, one of the Funkadactyls, wins the battle royal.
We have Tamina, who they're pushing. Natalia and Caitlyn, who's now feuding with Eve now. I don't get why you put Naomi in this spot.
I know why.
Why?
It sucks that wrestling comes to this sometimes. It was a Santa's helper match. She was the best looking one in the she is.
Okay.
That's why she won.
Right, well,
it could be.
Anyway, sorry. So Team Road Scholars with Cody's mustache defeat Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara.
I think didn't he and Aaron Rodgers trade mustaches?
Yeah. So he didn't shave; he just ripped it off and put it on Cody.
Yeah, it's like, here you go.
As far as this match goes, I knew this was coming anyway because they're supposed to win that tournament that they botched earlier in the year, but they rectified by Cody and Sandow winning anyway over them.
So Eve retains against Naomi.
Right. The Miz, Del Rio, who's a face or whatever, I don't know.
And
the Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brooklyn Brawler wins a match. Yes!
The greatest jobber of all time.
He had the Brawler Crab.
No, he called it the Brooklyn Crab.
On Jinder Mahal.
On Jinder Mahal, he taps out and they defeat 3MB.
I said that to you during the show as a joke. As a joke, I said, what's it going to be, the Brooklyn Brawler? I was kidding.
You were right, though. You were right. Antonio Cesaro retains against R-Truth, but ouch!
Yeah.
Did you see the photo?
Yeah, R-Truth's knee was pretty bad.
R-Truth had a nasty gash.
As far as this match goes, I am very high on Cesaro. I think he's one of the best they have. He is very, very impressive. I like his style a lot. I don't like you doing that. He looks very odd.
Well, it looks odd when he does it.
He looks epic when he does it.
No, it looks like he's hiling to Hitler.
No, it looks like he's doing something.
He's like, I'll. I'm like, stop it.
No, anyway. But I like Cesaro a lot. I think he's doing very well. So.
Kofi Kingston retains against Wade Barrett. No surprise there.
Surprise to me.
With a Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere.
Although, to credit his guy, the crowd was 95% Barrett. They were cheering, let's go Barrett, come on Wade.
Yep, they were.
So obviously the fans in Brooklyn want him to be champion, which I get. But right now, I think WWE's a little bit higher on Kofi.
This next one I'll talk about last.
Okay.
Big Show retains against Sheamus.
Good.
He uses the Big Show chair.
The reason I'm saying good, and everyone knows on the show
that thing was huge.
Everyone knows on the show that Sheamus is my favorite in the company at this point. But think about it: if Sheamus had won, they would fight again.
Now it's finally over.
Stop it.
We hope.
Yeah, really, I hope.
We hope.
I don't know what you're talking about here first. I don't know. Both of them were very.
Both of them were epic.
Both impactful.
Let's talk about Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
So Dolph Ziggler has to put up his Money in the Bank briefcase that he rightfully won.
So putting it up unfairly.
In a match against John Cena.
Yep.
All indications were John Cena was going to win.
Yep.
All indications in the match looked like John Cena was going to win.
Yep.
Vicky Guerrero comes out, threatens to hit John Cena with the chair. AJ comes out to the rescue, gives Vicky the 5 moves of doom and the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Which Vicky didn't sell at all. But
no, she did not
she
sell
just sat
at
there.
all.
She just
sat
laid
there
there.
like a limp noodle.
Right.
So then Cena's crawling up the ladder, gonna get the case because Dolph Ziggler's nowhere to be found. He's laid out. And AJ pushes the ladder over. And as he's falling down, Ziggler super kicks Cena in the face, grabs the briefcase, and retains Money in the Bank contract. Wow! Our good friend Michael Rickard called it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be disrespectful if I didn't give credit to Michael. He said, and I quote, he said, before the match even started, he said, what if AJ came out and screwed John Cena? And I said, they wouldn't do that. That'd be too awesome.
They did it.
Silly me, they did it.
They did it.
So
they did it.
Yeah.
And then, in probably the best, I'm sorry, the fact that this was not nominated for one of the match of the years was ridiculous. This match was epic. This match had everything.
It's like a car crash.
This match was amazing. And what a way, thank you. Thank you, WWE. What a way to showcase new talent.
Mm-hmm.
No other way. I don't see how they could have done it any other way.
No.
This match was amazing.
Yeah, I think the Shield winning this match is a big statement for them.
That was great. I like the idea of them
and I think both sides, you could not do this match any better. Number one, you build up your new faction with new talent, which is good. And then you also make Ryback look good because after the match was over, he was still standing.
Right.
So it's like, even all you...
So who got pinned?
Daniel Bryan got powerbomb through the table. But it's good for Ryback because even though after the punch they gave him, he still was able to stand after the match. So both guys look good.
And they're still looking for Kane.
Right.
He's buried.
Yeah, right.
Well, they found him on Raw.
So it was a very good. I think it was Roman Reigns took a nasty hit, or was that Dean Ambrose?
It was Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins took a nasty hit. He what?
Said you were over 2.
Well, that's one. Ryback threw him off the ladder. He went through 2 tables, but upon going through 2 tables, hit the side of his head on the side of the table. Ouch! But awesome pay-per-view. Very good.
Very worth it.
Very good. If I had to give it a score, I'd say at least an 8 out of 10.
I'd say 8.5. It was very good.
It was very good. I mean, I after the crappy Hell in a Cell and the So-So Survivor Series, that was an awesome way to end the year.
And I think as far as the main event goes, the Shield should have been the main event, but
I think so.
I think from WWE standpoint, Dolph Ziggler is called the Show Off and all the nicknames he has. I think they want him to be the last person you remember, kind of like similar to Shawn Michaels was.
And the fact that John Cena got screwed by AJ.
Yeah, that's it.
That's main event worthy.
There you go.
So moving on to Raw.
Slammies.
It was the Slammies. Fan voted.
Right.
Ric Flair's Superstar of the Year.
No.
Yeah.
He announced Superstar of the Year.
Huh?
He announced Superstar of the Year.
Yeah, but John Cena gave him the trophy and said you were the Superstar of the Year.
What did he do?
He took it.
He took it.
What did he do this year?
I don't know, but John Cena said no, this belongs to you, which I was befuddled.
He was in TNA last time I checked.
Yeah. But the fact that Ric Flair was there was epic. The Boogeyman showed up. Had to go hide for a little bit on that one. It's kind of scary. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. The Road Dogg and Billy Gunn showed up.
The Boogeyman.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
But my favorite surprise of the night. This was my favorite, other than Ric Flair's an obvious one, but Tommy Dreamer. That was epic. I loved the fact. So I guess now from here on out, The Miz and Del Rio are going to have a feud with 3MB, and there's always going to be somebody different as their third
Possibly,
partner.
but at the same time, I saw a picture after Dreamer got attacked by the Shield. He had a little bump on his head. It was kind of swollen, so I don't think he enjoyed that attack.
No, I don't think he enjoyed that attack, but Raw was very good. The main event was...
Go figure, John Cena and Vicky Guerrero.
John Cena versus AJ and Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
But it didn't end well, did
Essentially, John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. So.
But it didn't win well, did it?
No.
Somebody showed up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Big E Langston.
Or people are calling him Rye Black. I mean,
Rye Black?
Yeah,
They're calling him Rye Black?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's too close to Eye Black.
Yeah, whatever. But
yes.
Impressive he was, for sure. Dismantling John Cena. Not just on Raw, but obviously when we get to Smack, he did that as well.
Right.
This guy is huge.
He is huge, and AJ brought him down to ringside. Very, very interesting. So that's how Raw went off the air with Big E Langston standing over top of John Cena.
Right.
Very good Raw.
Yeah.
Very good Raw. A lot of stuff. A lot of matches. A lot of.
Unfortunately, they still didn't get number one. They still lost to Monday Night Football. How bad that game was. They still lost.
One screw up on Raw. The only screw up.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
They dangled the carrot again. Stop it.
Here you go. Nope.
Ryback versus Antonio Cesaro. Really? Could have been a phenomenal match. Would have been a great match. What do?
Count out.
A count out. Ugh. Stop it.
Dangle the carrot. Come on, grab it. Yeah, come on.
No. SmackDown was live this week.
Yeah.
You got to tune in. I didn't get to see it. I was busy attending to some personal matters.
AJ did explain what she did to John Cena. Basically, she said he broke her heart and he kind of played with her emotions. That's why he broke her heart. So that's why he helped also her break.
Which my emotions.
One of them. One of them. Who knows?
The Shield struck again.
Yeah. Mysterio was injured, and actually, this is more what he likes to talk about the business side. The Shield did attack Sin Cara's knee, but real life stuff. Sin Cara had to be written off TV that way because he is having legitimate knee problems, so he's off TV for the time being. Right. So that was the way to write him off.
Ryback will get his title shot against CM Punk at the January 7th edition of Monday Night Raw.
I think somebody here said that not too long ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that's not the first Raw of the year.
No, but here's the thing about this Raw.
Actually, yes,
they need to do something. They need to do something because they're up against a national championship game, a game that people really want to watch. Notre Dame and Alabama. You're going to Ryback face CM Punk in a championship match.
They'll at least get a picture-in-picture, I think.
Right. The Rock is going to be back. So they're really trying to do something to compete. They're not going to win that, obviously. But they're going to try.
They're not going to win that championship.
Big E Langston strikes again. Takes out Cena yet again.
Yeah, so this thing with AJ, Ziggler, and Langston is heating up. And apparently, according to what I've seen from Ziggler, he is kind of giving the motion to Big E Langston to do things and attack John Cena, giving the motion, saying, go ahead and go after him. So something's going on with AJ, Ziggler, and Big E Langston, some kind of faction. I don't know what. But hopefully next upcoming weeks we're going to find out what's going on with that.
Absolutely. So a great week of wrestling. And when we come back, we will delve into our wild cards, our Idiot of the Week, and we will wrap up the show right after this.
Hey, Nick Dinsmore here. Do you have the dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Well, I did, and I came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. I'm a former WWE superstar, I'm a former 9-time Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion, and I can train you to be the best today. For all the information regarding the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class, go to ovwrestling.com and click on school. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. ovwrestling.com, click on school.
And we are back in Triple Threat Talk. To wrap up the show, I am Big B, Brandon Muir, alongside Gary, the Dr. Lockard, and why are you doing that with your shirt? Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers.
Yes.
So, we all have wild cards, I'm pretty sure. Do you have a wild card?
He must not.
He's thinking about one.
No.
Okay, anyway. So, we'll get to that in a minute. A topic I know we're all in agreement with. Yeah, I can see him. He's getting antsy. He's like Disney World. He's ready to go.
Do you have a wild card?
I do, but I'll get to that.
Go ahead.
Well, any of the week has to come first. Any of the week has to come
There's
first.
several idiots.
We have a couple idiots.
Well, this one supersedes everybody, I think.
Yes, you are right about that.
Any of the week is Mr. Rob Parker. You're probably saying, who's Rob Parker? Who's Rob Parker? Well,
let's show him. Do you want to show him? Can we air this?
Why not? Make him look more foolish than he already is. So,
but my question, which is just a straight, honest question, is he a brother or is he a cornball brother?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that.
Well, he's not really. Okay, he's black, he kind of does the thing, but he's not really down with the cause. He's not one of us. He's kind of black, he's in the, but he's not really like the guy you really want to hang out with because he's off to something else.
Why is that your question?
Well, because that's just how I want to find out about him. I don't know because I keep hearing these things. We all know he has a white fiance, and there was all this talk about he's a Republican, which there's no information at all. I'm just trying to dig deeper into why he has an issue, because we did find out with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was like, I got black skin, but don't call me black.
Rob Parker, an analyst at ESPN, said those comments about RG3, which I'm not going to repeat because they don't need to be repeated.
First, it wasn't us that said it.
No,
that was the clip.
Yeah, first of all, What does this have to do with football? Nothing. And yeah, RG3 did say he doesn't want to be categorized as an African-American quarterback. I applaud that because let him play the game. Who cares if he's African-American, white, or Asian? Who cares? Let the guy play. And another thing that I'm kind of about, because, obviously RG3's in the spotlight because he is the guy, he was the, one of the biggest draft picks, and he's trying to run Washington's year and blah, blah, blah. They're not saying anything about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's an African-American quarterback. He has a white wife. Not saying anything about him. So obviously RG3 has to get all this stuff. Why? I have no idea. So luckily ESPN suspends the guy because he deserves to be suspended for comments like that.
It should be fired.
Hopefully he gets fired.
Well, I think it was his first time he said something that drastic, so they're kind of like, saying, don't.
What happened on First Take?
Right, don't do it again. And, this kind of brought up a debate amongst journalists in the sports field saying, now that I think about it, I really don't take First Take that seriously.
Where is the credibility of First Take?
Because, they talk about embrace debate, and, I like Skip Bayless, and I like Stephen A. Smith, but sometimes they bring on people that don't really know what they're talking about. We know better than some people on that show.
We know a lot better.
I'm not tooting our own. I watch the show all the time. I'm being serious. So, Rob Parker, not only are you an idiot of the week for what you said, but you said it on national TV, made you look even stupider than you already are. I don't get why you say something like that. Anything else to add to that?
First Take needs to go. I think there are two things that have no bearing in sports: politics and race. And
religion.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, I'm going to disagree with that because they, various characters. You have very good, but politics and race belong in other arenas than sports. And what they were doing with First Take was they're trying to take Fox News or a CNN or an MSNBC kind of roundtable debate and try to put two pieces of a puzzle together, and you have debates.
Yeah, and a few weeks prior, they had an interview with Chad Johnson ask about his marital issues. Like, that's not a sports.
And it's a failed experiment.
Right.
And it needs to go. Skip Bayless, he's had his moments. Stephen A. Smith, though, I hardly agree with anything he says.
I think he's just there to bounce off Skip Bayless.
I think Skip Bayless is the more reputable of them, and even now that he's getting on a little bit later on in years, it is time for them to end that experiment and put Triple Threat Talk on the air. But,
yeah.
I mean...
Sounds good anyway.
So any other idiots of the week you have to add real quick? Because he's the biggest one.
Tom Brady for what he said. Okay. I mean, for being such an elite quarterback, he knows nothing about football.
I add myself.
Why?
Only I can hit a parked truck at work. Okay? I wrecked a parked truck at work tonight.
Man, you're an idiot.
I agree. I'm calling myself an idiot.
Those parked trucks, they pop
So wait.
Yes.
You're nominating yourself for this illustrious group of people?
I'm nominating myself.
Maybe you could be innocent.
Just like in Jim and Liar, I hold myself in contempt.
Why should you be any different?
Actually, can we play a clip here? Can we do this?
A clip of what?
Starscream in 1986 in the Transformers movie said that exact line, but he sounds so much cooler saying it.
I nominate myself.
So are you putting your name in the hat of Idiot of the Year?
I'm putting my name in the hat for Idiot of the Century. It was bad. Needless to say, there really wasn't much damage, but it was enough to be like, you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Rob Parker, Tom Brady, and you.
Me.
Yes, me. Triple Threat Talk Idiot of the Week. Alright, so Wildcard.
I'm ashamed.
You're the Wildcard.
I got no wild card.
Okay, I know you have.
No one made me
I
mad.
brought it up to you during the break.
No one made me mad this week.
I know you're frustrated. I know you're angry.
The NHL lockout. I've had enough. I've had it up to here.
And he's not even that tall.
I'm not even that. Well, I might be because I am sitting down.
Well,
it's an early Christmas for the doctor.
Why?
I don't like hockey.
Well, this is people losing jobs.
What? I don't.
Hey!
What?
It's Christmas. Choke them after the show.
Okay, after the show. Get it together. It's the second lockout in 8 years. 8 years. And you're talking well, if we have a season, it'll only be conference games, and teams will have to adjust their times and get with the arenas and blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of it. I've waited. It is almost January. I should have been to 2 or 3 games by now. I'm mad. I'm fed up. Get it together. You guys are millionaires. I hate when you argue over money. With the money you make, you're acting like a bunch of whining babies. It's like somebody called a ambulance because it's ridiculous. And frankly, at this point, if you don't play a season, I don't give a damn. Don't play a season then. But get it together. Make a deal. This is not deal or no deal, okay? Howie Mandel is not walking through that door anytime soon. This is a professional sport, and you need to act like it. Gary Bettman, you're a dumbass. Donald Fear, you're a dumbass. Get your stuff together. Let's play some hockey.
Sound pretty upset about that.
That was humorous.
You sound pretty upset about that.
I'm mad.
I mean, the NHL is gone. They're gone. They're not going to come back from this. You can kiss the Predators goodbye. You can kiss the Red Wings goodbye. You can kiss whatever other team is in the NHL because I don't care what they are. You can kiss
start my own league.
They're done.
The Triple Threat Talk Hockey League.
Yes.
They're done.
And it'll be the rules how they need to be.
I agree with you to an extent, though. Whenever millionaires and billionaires argue about money, you know this world has come down to greed. This world hasn't been right for the last few weeks especially. But when you start arguing about money, when you're millionaires and billionaires, it's just ridiculous.
Right.
But all sports do that. All sports are
That's
dumb
true.
together.
But the other sports at least have common sense enough to find a common ground.
The problem with NHL is the guy in charge of the players and the guy in charge of the NHL, both guys have tremendous egos, and they can't see past their ego for 5 damn minutes to make something happen.
Yeah, so,
and that's the problem.
So, like I said, two in 8 years it's not good for this. So it's really good. So my wild card, I have one after this, but one quick one. Justin Long, who was our interview a couple weeks back, NASCAR writer for Sports Illustrated. He actually has a children's book coming out for the holidays. So if you have a child between in the 3rd through the 5th grade, he's got a book coming out. It's about the Daytona 500, about the history of the Daytona 500, memorable moments. I'll post a link underneath. You can buy it on Amazon, so definitely check that out. A good holiday gift for the NASCAR enthusiast in your family. So
definitely.
My wild card at the end of this show is the state of the show for next year. I'll say next year, if we have a show next week, pending.
Stop it. If you start it, I swear to God, I'll come across this table and I will punch you in the face, and I'm not lying.
Okay, so facing next week's show, episode 80.
Yes, next week's show will happen, so just go for that.
We shall see.
When it happens.
We shall see, but...
Stop it.
But, save the show for next year. We want to do more things. We want to do more interviews, obviously. I think in terms of headlines, we want to cover less topics, but give more insight to them, so cover less things. As far as pick'ems go, maybe not cover every game, maybe cover a certain amount of games.
What?
Well,
that's ridiculous.
No.
That's absurd. That's why we're different from everybody else. We pick every game. We're not scared to pick every game.
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I think in certain games we cover them, like we go in depth about, but then one game we just say this team wins and then move on.
That's what we do now.
I'm saying though, starting again. I'm saying there's say this game like San Francisco and Seattle. We actually go in depth for a little bit and then pick it. But
that's exactly what we do now.
We do the same thing.
You got 2 people telling you we do the same thing.
No,
did we not just sit there earlier and discuss the Seattle 49ers game before we picked?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for example, Carolina and the Dolphins. Just pick Carolina.
We do
that.
Oh my God!
Whenever we do go long-winded, it's you.
I agree with you. There's some changes, and there may be some changes. Let's not forget we'll be on radio starting in January.
Hopefully, right? Also, we want to look into green screen. Maybe adding a new correspondent, possibly. It's waiting in the wings, but we shall see what the future holds. So,
if we do get a new correspondent, don't worry. I told Jimmy this earlier. I'm sure you probably get it. Lots of shows change things majorly and still keep their name. We will still be Triple Threat Talk.
Before we end the show this week,
Fatal 4-Way Talk.
Well, no, the name I think can speak of this is why I don't think we should get rid of wrestling. I know we've talked about getting rid of wrestling on the show, but I think we should keep it because the name Triple Threat Talk could not just mean 3 people, because we might add a 4th. It could mean we're a triple threat journalistic team. We cover the triple threat. We cover sports, wrestling, and news. Because we talk about news on the show sometimes. So it's a triple.
Very rarely.
Well,
we don't like to talk news on this show. We like to have an upbeat show.
Sometimes we do. But I'm just saying,
very rarely.
We cover 3 ends of the spectrum.
He's right. We cover sports. We cover headlines. Yeah. I see that.
So that's the show this week. I want to like us on Facebook. Please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk. And you can send any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So for Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
And this is Gary, the Dr. Locker, saying also we want to thank Terry Bodie, Cheryl Connolly, triplethreattalk.com, thefanadvocate.com, and OVW Wrestling and Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm. This is Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Very Merry Christmas.
A happy holiday. We will see you next week for episode 80. Big B, you're an idiot. That's all I got.
This is Big B signing off, and there's no show next week, guys. It's been a hell of a ride. See you next week, everybody. Maybe.